If your urine looks foamy and that foam doesn't disappear within 10 minutes, your kidneys may be sending you a desperate warning signal. Not next year, not next month, right now. This single symptom, something most people chalk up to drinking too much coffee or going too fast, is one of the earliest and most overlooked signs of a dangerous condition called uremia. A condition that, left unaddressed, can silently destroy your kidneys, poison your blood, and collapse your heart. And here is the terrifying part. Most people ignore it for years. Their doctors never mention it, and by the time it's caught, the damage is already done. But here is what I need you to understand. This is not a death sentence. There are specific foods, habits, and simple daily strategies that can protect your kidneys, flush the protein that's causing that foam, and dramatically slow the progression of kidney damage. And the number one protective habit on this list is so simple, so completely free, and so profoundly backed by science that a study published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found it reduced kidney disease progression by up to 40%. And yet almost nobody over 60 is doing it correctly. I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a physician specialized in senior health with over a decade of dedicated clinical experience. I've sat with thousands of patients over 60 who came to me terrified after seeing that foam in the toilet. What I found, again and again, was that nobody had ever explained to them what it meant, what caused it, or what they could do about it. The conventional medical system focuses on medications and procedures. I focus on empowerment. What I'm about to share goes against the passive approach most people are told to take. But I've seen it work, patient after patient, and I refuse to stay silent any longer. Before we go further, if you're watching this and you've noticed foamy urine yourself, or you know someone who has, hit that like button right now. This information could genuinely change the outcome of someone's health, and that like tells the algorithm to keep sharing it. Now, let's talk about what is actually happening inside your body when your urine looks like the top of a latte. Your kidneys are extraordinary organs. Every single day, they filter about 200 quarts of blood. They pull out waste, they regulate fluid balance, they control blood pressure, and they produce hormones that keep your bones strong and your red blood cells healthy. When your kidneys are working perfectly, they act like a very selective sieve. They allow waste to pass through into your urine, but they hold back large, important molecules, particularly proteins, and send them back into the bloodstream where they belong. Here is where foamy urine enters the picture. When the kidneys begin to malfunction, that sieve develops holes. Proteins, specifically a protein called albumin, begin slipping through the filter and entering the urine. Albumin is a surface-active molecule. That means when it hits water and experiences turbulence, like the forceful stream of urine hitting the toilet water, it creates bubbles. Persistent, slow-disappearing, stable bubbles. Foam. Now, not every instance of foamy urine is dangerous. Concentrated urine from mild dehydration, going very fast, or cleaning products in the toilet bowl can all cause temporary foam. The 10-minute rule is critical. If the foam disappears in under 10 minutes, it is likely benign. If it persists beyond 10 minutes, appears consistently every time you urinate, and looks thick or frothy rather than thin and bubbly, that is a red flag for proteinuria, which is the clinical term for protein in the urine. And proteinuria is the hallmark early warning of chronic kidney disease, and in advanced cases, uremia. Uremia is the condition that occurs when the kidneys are so impaired that toxic waste products, substances normally filtered out and excreted, begin to accumulate in the bloodstream. The name literally means urine in the blood. The symptoms, when they finally become obvious, are devastating. Nausea, vomiting, fatigue so extreme that patients describe it as being buried under cement. Confusion, bone pain, itching, a strange metallic taste in the mouth, and ultimately, heart failure. Because uremic toxins attack the heart muscle directly, according to the National Kidney Foundation, over 37 million Americans are living with chronic kidney disease right now, and approximately 90% of them don't know it. After age 60, kidney filtration naturally declines. Add in decades of high blood pressure, even mildly elevated blood sugar, occasional anti-inflammatory pain medication use, and a low-water diet, and the kidneys of many adults over 60 are operating under significant, undiagnosed stress. This is why the foam matters. This is why the 10-minute test matters. Your body is talking to you, and today, I'm going to teach you exactly how to respond. How old are you right now? Are you in your 60s, 70s, or beyond? Have you ever noticed foam in your toilet that lasted a while and wondered about it? Type your age in the comments below. I read every single one, and your response helps other viewers feel less alone in this. Now let's get into the 8 most powerful kidney protective strategies, ranked from helpful to absolutely essential. We'll start with number 8 and work our way toward the single most important thing you can do starting tomorrow morning. Number 8. Reducing your sodium intake below 2,000 milligrams per day. This one sounds basic, but the way sodium damages kidneys after 60 is something most people have never been told. When you consume high levels of sodium, your body retains water to dilute it. This raises blood volume. Elevated blood volume means the heart has to pump harder, which increases the pressure of blood flowing through the delicate filtration vessels inside the kidneys, called the glomeruli. Over time, this constant high-pressure pounding damages those tiny vessels. They stiffen. They develop microscopic tears. The sieve develops holes, and protein starts slipping through. A study published in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that adults who reduced sodium intake by just 1,000 milligrams per day showed a 30% reduction in proteinuria over 12 weeks. That foam that's been worrying you could begin to diminish simply by cutting back on the salt shaker and processed food. The biggest hidden sources of sodium for seniors are bread, canned soups, deli meats, and restaurant food, not the salt shaker. The salt shaker only accounts for about 11% of most Americans' sodium intake. The other 89% is already baked into the food before it reaches your plate. Here's the pro tip most people miss. Flavor your food with lemon juice, garlic, herbs, and black pepper instead of salt. Studies show this simple swap reduces sodium intake by an average of 800 milligrams per day without sacrificing satisfaction. And that reduction alone is meaningful for your kidneys. Number 7. Eliminating or dramatically reducing NSAID pain relievers. This is one of the most important and least discussed kidney threats for adults over 60. NSAIDs, that stands for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, include ibuprofen, naproxen, and aspirin in high doses. These medications are available over the counter. Millions of seniors take them daily for arthritis, back pain, and headaches, and they are quietly destroying kidneys at an alarming rate. Here is the mechanism. Your kidneys require adequate blood flow to function. They regulate this using a class of compounds called prostaglandins. NSAIDs block prostaglandin production. In a healthy, well-hydrated young person, this is tolerable short-term. But after 60, when kidney reserve is already reduced and blood flow is already more restricted, blocking prostaglandins can trigger a rapid drop in kidney perfusion, meaning blood flow through the kidney drops suddenly. The filtration units are starved. Inflammation sets in, damage occurs. And because it happens gradually over months and years, nobody connects the arthritis pill to the kidney decline. Research published in the Archives of Internal Medicine found that regular NSAID use increased the risk of chronic kidney disease by 20% in adults over 65. And in those who already had some degree of kidney dysfunction, That risk was even higher. If you are using NSAIDs daily or near daily for pain management, I want you to have a conversation with your doctor about alternatives. Topical anti-inflammatory creams, acetaminophen used correctly, and the natural strategies I'll cover later in this video can all provide meaningful relief without the kidney burden. Number 6, eating more plant-based protein and less animal protein. I am not here to tell you to stop eating meat. I am here to tell you that how much and what kind of protein you eat has a direct and measurable impact on how hard your kidneys have to work and how fast that foam disappears. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids and produces nitrogen-containing waste products in the process. The kidneys must filter these waste products out of the blood. Animal proteins, including red meat, pork, and full-fat dairy, generate significantly higher amounts of these waste products than plant proteins. The kidneys of someone eating a high animal protein diet are working overtime every single day. A landmark study in the Journal of Nutrition found that substituting plant protein for just one serving of animal protein per day was associated with a 23% reduction in the risk of kidney disease progression in adults with existing early-stage kidney damage. And in those without kidney disease, it was powerfully protective. Practical substitutions that work well for seniors. Replace ground beef and chili with lentils. Swap a chicken dinner once or twice a week for baked salmon, which has anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids on top of its protein benefits. Add a handful of walnuts, pumpkin seeds, or chickpeas to salads instead of crumbled bacon. Here's a pro tip. Don't overdo protein in general. The obsession with high-protein diets that has swept through health culture is particularly misguided for seniors with any kidney vulnerability. The kidneys of a 70-year-old should not be processing the same protein load as a 25-year-old athlete. Speak to your doctor about your specific protein needs given your current kidney function. Number 5, controlling blood sugar with precision, even if you don't have diabetes. Diabetic nephropathy, kidney disease caused by elevated blood sugar, is the single leading cause of kidney failure in the United States. But here is what isn't discussed nearly enough. You don't have to have a diabetes diagnosis for elevated blood sugar to be attacking your kidneys. The condition called prediabetes, where blood sugar is above normal but not yet at diabetic levels, affects over 96 million American adults. After 60, the risk of being in this category is enormously elevated due to age-related changes in insulin sensitivity. And prediabetes level blood sugar silently causes glomerular damage through a process called glycation, where excess sugar literally caramelizes and stiffens the proteins that make up the kidney's delicate filtration structures. Research from the New England Journal of Medicine confirmed that individuals with prediabetes showed measurable kidney filtration decline even before their blood sugar crossed the official diabetes threshold. The good news is that blood sugar spikes are highly manageable with diet. Eliminating white bread, white rice, and sugary beverages after 6 p.m. reduces overnight glycation stress on the kidneys significantly. Starting meals with vegetables and protein before eating carbohydrates flattens the blood sugar curve. Walking for even 10 minutes after a meal has been shown in multiple studies to reduce post-meal blood sugar by up to 22%. If you haven't had your fasting blood glucose and hemoglobin A1C checked recently, please make that appointment. Early detection of prediabetes is one of the highest leverage things you can do for your kidneys, your heart, and your brain. I remember Patricia, a 71-year-old retired schoolteacher from Charlotte, North Carolina. She had been noticing persistent foam in the toilet for several months, but assumed it was nothing. When she came to see me, she described it as looking like the foam on a cappuccino that just wouldn't go away. We ran a basic urinalysis and a metabolic panel. Her urine protein was elevated, and her fasting blood glucose came back at 118. Not diabetic, but pre-diabetic. She had no idea. I explained to her exactly how her blood sugar levels were stressing her kidneys, and we mapped out a simple dietary plan together. Vegetables first at every meal, no sugary drinks, a 15-minute walk after dinner, and swapping her evening rice for cauliflower rice 3 nights a week. 4 months later, Patricia's fasting glucose had dropped to 97. Her follow-up urinalysis showed a significant reduction in protein levels, and she told me, with tears in her eyes, that the foam was barely there anymore. She said, "Dr. Mitchell, nobody ever connected those two things for me. I feel like I dodged a bullet." She did, and you can too. This is not aging. This is blood sugar management, and it is completely within your control. If you're finding this video valuable so far, I want to make a quick request. First, subscribe to this channel. My mission is to give adults over 60 the real, straight-shooting health information they deserve. Second, share this video. Think about your family members, your friends, the people in your life who might be ignoring foam in the toilet because nobody explained it to them. A simple share from you could genuinely change the outcome of someone's kidney health. Please do that right now. Number 4. Managing blood pressure aggressively and naturally. High blood pressure is the second leading cause of kidney failure in America, right behind diabetes. And the connection is direct, mechanical, and brutal. The glomeruli, those microscopic filtration units inside your kidneys, each contain a tiny ball of capillaries under delicate, precisely calibrated pressure. When your blood pressure is chronically elevated, those capillaries experience forces they were never designed to withstand. They stretch, they scar, they lose their ability to selectively filter, and protein starts pouring through. This is a vicious cycle. Damaged kidneys lose their ability to regulate blood pressure, which causes blood pressure to rise further, which damages the kidneys more. Breaking this cycle early is critical. A study published in Hypertension Journal found that every 10-point reduction in systolic blood pressure was associated with a 17% reduction in the risk of kidney disease progression. If you are on blood pressure medication, take it. Do not skip doses. Do not self-adjust. Consistency is everything with blood pressure management. And in addition to medication, these natural strategies have strong clinical evidence behind them. The DASH diet, which emphasizes potassium-rich foods like sweet potatoes, bananas, and leafy greens, has been shown in clinical trials to reduce systolic blood pressure by 8 to 14 points. That is equivalent to some medications. Reducing alcohol to no more than 1 drink per day. Practicing slow, deep breathing for 5 to 10 minutes daily, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system and measurably lowers blood pressure within minutes. And maintaining a healthy weight, where every 10 pounds of excess weight removed correlates with a 4 to 5 point drop in systolic blood pressure. Here is a pro tip that almost nobody uses. Check your blood pressure at the same time every morning, before eating, drinking coffee, or taking medications. This gives you your true baseline reading. Many seniors' blood pressure readings at the doctor's office are distorted by white coat syndrome, the anxiety of being in a medical environment. A home monitor gives you the real picture. Number 3, dramatically increasing your water intake, done correctly. This is the one that surprises people most. Water. Something that's free, something that's available to everyone, something that seems too simple to matter. But the evidence is overwhelming, and the way most seniors hydrate is completely wrong. Dehydration is the enemy of kidney health in ways that go far beyond what most people understand. When you are even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes more concentrated. The kidneys, trying to conserve water, reduce urine output and concentrate it heavily. This concentrated urine has a higher ratio of waste products to water. The glomeruli are exposed to a more toxic, more corrosive filtrate. Microscopic damage accumulates. And crucially, the urinary tract becomes a more hospitable environment for the bacteria and crystals that cause kidney stones. A major 2020 study published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology followed over 3,000 adults with mild to moderate chronic kidney disease for 11 years. Those who increased their water intake to produce at least 2 liters of urine per day showed a 40% slower rate of kidney function decline compared to those who stayed poorly hydrated. 40%. That is a staggering number for something that costs nothing. Now, here is the mistake most seniors make. They avoid drinking water because they fear nighttime urination. They sip tiny amounts. They rely on coffee, tea, and juice as their primary fluids. And they end up chronically underhydrated in a way their doctors never catch because thirst sensation naturally diminishes after age 60. Your brain simply stops sending the thirst signal as reliably. You can be genuinely dehydrated and feel nothing. The correct approach is structured hydration. Drink 12 ounces of water first thing upon waking, before coffee. This rehydrates your body after 7 to 8 hours without fluids and flushes the first concentrated urine of the day, reducing the toxic burden on your kidneys during that critical morning filtration window. Aim for a total of 6 to 8 cups of water spread across the day, tapering off after 6 p.m. to protect your sleep. Add a squeeze of lemon to your morning water. Lemon is naturally high in citrate, a compound that inhibits kidney stone formation, one of the most common acute kidney emergencies in seniors. The color test is your best friend. Your urine should be pale yellow, like light lemonade. If it's dark yellow or amber, you are dehydrated. If it's completely clear and you're urinating very frequently, you may be overhydrating. Pale yellow is the goal. I remember James, a 78-year-old retired engineer from Seattle, Washington. He came to my office with a urinalysis showing elevated protein and mild kidney function decline. He was confused and worried. He told me he ate well, exercised, and managed his blood pressure carefully. But when I asked him about his water intake, he admitted he rarely drank plain water. He had coffee in the morning, a glass of juice at lunch, and maybe a little water with dinner. His total daily fluid intake was under 4 cups. We started him on a simple protocol: a full glass of water immediately upon waking, 1 glass before each meal, 1 glass mid-morning, and 1 mid-afternoon. No water after 7 p.m. to protect his sleep. 3 months later, James came back glowing. His follow-up urinalysis showed protein levels that had dropped significantly. His kidney function numbers had stabilized, and he told me, "Dr. Mitchell, the foam is gone. I haven't seen it in 6 weeks. I can't believe it was water all along." It wasn't just water. It was the right amount, at the right times, consistently. And that discipline gave his kidneys the environment they needed to begin recovering. This is your body asking for the most basic support possible. Don't make it beg. Now, before we reach the top 2, I want to hear from you. Have you noticed foamy urine and been worried about it, or perhaps dismissed it? Type yes in the comments if you've seen it and are taking it seriously. Type 0 if you've seen it but weren't sure it mattered until now. Your response helps other viewers feel seen and understand the urgency. Number 2. Eating foods specifically rich in kidney protective antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. There is a cluster of foods with such a strong evidence base for kidney protection that I want to go through them individually, because combining several of these daily is what produces transformational results. The first is blueberries. A study in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that the anthocyanins in blueberries reduced kidney inflammation markers by 31% in adults with early-stage kidney disease. Their low potassium content also makes them ideal for people with compromised kidney function, who must be careful about mineral overload. Half a cup of blueberries daily, fresh or frozen, is the target dose. The second is garlic. Allicin, the active compound in garlic, has powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties and has been shown in multiple studies to reduce kidney oxidative stress. A 2021 study found that garlic supplementation in adults with chronic kidney disease led to measurable reductions in urinary protein excretion over 8 weeks. 2 cloves of fresh garlic per day, crushed and allowed to sit for 10 minutes before eating or cooking to maximize allicin activation, is the approach. The third is red bell pepper. One of the few vegetables that is high in vitamin C, B6, and folate while being naturally low in potassium and phosphorus, the 2 minerals most dangerous for kidneys in decline. Red bell peppers are a nutritional gift for kidney health. The fourth is olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil's oleocanthal compound mimics the action of anti-inflammatory drugs without the kidney damage those drugs cause. Replacing butter, vegetable oil, and margarine with extra virgin olive oil across all cooking is a simple, powerful shift. The fifth is cabbage. Often overlooked, cabbage is low in potassium and phosphorus and high in phytochemicals that break down free radicals, the unstable molecules that accelerate kidney cell damage. Cabbage can be eaten raw in salads, steamed, or added to soups with virtually no kidney burden. Here is the pro tip. These foods work synergistically. The antioxidants from blueberries, the allicin from garlic, the oleocanthal from olive oil, the phytochemicals from cabbage, when combined consistently in a diet, create a comprehensive anti-inflammatory environment in the kidneys that no single supplement can replicate. Aim to include at least 3 of these 5 foods on any given day. And smash that like button right now if you are going to start incorporating at least one of these into your diet tomorrow morning. I want to see that number go up. Number 1. The single most powerful thing you can do for your kidneys, your uremia risk, your foamy urine, and your long-term health after 60. And that is regular, moderate aerobic exercise. Specifically, walking at a pace that raises your heart rate for at least 30 minutes, 5 times per week. I know what you're thinking. Exercise? That's the big revelation? But stay with me. Because what exercise does for kidney health specifically is something the research makes absolutely astonishing, and almost no one is being told the full picture. Here is how it works. The kidneys are deeply affected by cardiovascular health. Their filtration efficiency is directly tied to cardiac output, the volume of blood the heart pumps per minute. When the heart is conditioned and strong, it pumps an optimal volume of blood through the kidneys at optimal pressure. The glomeruli filter efficiently. The sieve stays intact. Protein stays where it belongs. When the heart is deconditioned, cardiac output falls. Kidney perfusion decreases. The kidneys struggle under inadequate blood supply, and filtration becomes erratic and inefficient. Protein leaks. Foam appears, but the connection goes even deeper. Aerobic exercise directly reduces systemic inflammation, the same inflammation that scars glomerular capillaries. It improves insulin sensitivity, reducing the glycation damage we discussed earlier. It lowers blood pressure through nitric oxide production in the vessel walls. It improves blood lipid profiles, reducing the atherosclerotic plaque that narrows the renal arteries. It promotes weight loss, reducing the mechanical and metabolic kidney burden. And it enhances mitochondrial function in kidney cells themselves, improving their ability to resist damage and repair injury. A landmark study in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases followed adults with chronic kidney disease who engaged in moderate aerobic exercise 3 to 5 times per week. After 12 months, they showed a 30 to 40% reduction in kidney disease progression compared to sedentary controls. Their inflammatory markers were lower, their blood pressure was better controlled, and their urinary protein levels, the very protein that causes that foam, were measurably reduced. Another study, published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology, found that adults who exercised regularly had a 31% lower risk of developing kidney disease in the first place, independent of other risk factors. The dose that achieves these benefits is not extreme. You do not need a gym. You do not need special equipment. You need to walk briskly. 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Brisk means a pace at which you can speak in sentences but not sing a song, where you can feel your heart working, where your breathing deepens noticeably. If 30 minutes is too much to start, begin with 10 minutes. 10 minutes is infinitely better than 0 minutes. Add 5 minutes per week. Within 6 weeks, you will be at 40 minutes, and you will not believe how different you feel. I remember Barbara, a 74-year-old retired nurse from Minneapolis, Minnesota. She had been my patient for several years, managing high blood pressure and borderline blood sugar. When she came in one spring, her urinalysis showed significant proteinuria. The foam she'd been seeing for months was now confirmed as a clinical finding. Her kidney function numbers had dropped from where they'd been the year before. Barbara was devastated. She told me she felt like her body was falling apart, like she had done everything right her whole life, and her kidneys were betraying her anyway. I sat with her for a long time that day, and I told her what I am telling you right now. This is not a betrayal. This is your body responding to the environment you've been giving it, and we are going to change that environment. Together. We put Barbara on a structured walking program. 10 minutes a day to start, 5 days a week. She also made the dietary adjustments we've discussed today. More water in the morning, blueberries and olive oil, less sodium and NSAID pain relievers. And within 3 months, something remarkable happened. Her protein levels on urinalysis had dropped by 35%. Her kidney function numbers had stopped declining and were trending slightly upward, which her nephrologist called, quote, unexpected. Her blood pressure was better controlled than it had been in years, and the foam, Barbara told me with a wide smile, was gone. She told me, Dr. Mitchell, I thought my best days were behind me. I thought this was just what 74 feels like. But I feel stronger now than I did 5 years ago. I get to play with my grandchildren without sitting down every few minutes. That's everything. That is what is possible. That is what your kidneys, your body, your life can look like when you give yourself the right tools. This is not luck. This is biology. And biology responds to input. Now, let me tell you exactly how to implement everything we've discussed today, starting tomorrow morning. Here is your kidney protection action plan. Day 1 through 3. Add hydration structure. Drink 12 ounces of water with lemon the moment you wake up, before anything else. Set a phone reminder for mid-morning and mid-afternoon to drink another glass. Stop drinking fluids after 6:30 p.m. Monitor your urine color and aim for pale yellow throughout the day. Day 4 through 7. Begin your walking program. Start with 15 minutes at a brisk pace. The morning is ideal, but any consistent time works. Do this 5 days out of 7. Week 2. Add the dietary upgrades. Add blueberries to breakfast. Switch to extra virgin olive oil for all cooking. Reduce 1 serving of red meat per week and replace it with lentils, salmon, or a plant-based option. Identify the top 3 high-sodium items in your diet and begin reducing or replacing them. Week 3. Address pain management with your doctor. If you use NSAIDs regularly, schedule a conversation about alternatives. Get your blood pressure checked and confirm your home monitor is accurate. If you haven't had a metabolic panel, including kidney function and blood glucose in the past year, request one. Week 4 and beyond. Sustain the habits. Your consistency is everything. The kidneys do not respond to one perfect day. They respond to a sustained, supportive environment over weeks and months. Don't make these critical errors. First, do not drastically restrict fluids to manage nighttime urination. This is one of the most damaging things you can do for your kidneys. Work with your doctor on nighttime urination separately, but do not let it keep you dehydrated during the day. Second, do not dramatically increase protein intake based on fitness culture advice without first confirming your kidney function. High-protein diets are dangerous for kidneys under stress. Third, do not dismiss persistent foam as nothing. If it is lasting more than 10 minutes consistently, request a urinalysis. It is a simple, inexpensive test that can change everything. Here is the timeline of what you can realistically expect. Within 3 to 5 days, better hydration will begin reducing urine concentration. You may notice your urine is clearer and the foam is slightly less persistent. Within 2 weeks, the combination of dietary changes and walking will begin reducing systemic inflammation. Blood pressure may start responding. Within 4 to 6 weeks, if proteinuria was in the mild to moderate range, you may begin to see it reduce on a follow-up urinalysis. Many patients notice a meaningful reduction in visible foam by this point. Within 3 months, consistent adherence to this full protocol has shown in clinical evidence to produce measurable improvements in kidney function numbers, protein excretion, and cardiovascular markers. Your body wants to heal. It does not need miracles. It needs the right raw materials, consistently delivered. So let's bring it all together. Today we covered 8 powerful strategies for protecting your kidneys and addressing the underlying causes of foamy urine. Reducing sodium below 2,000 milligrams per day. Eliminating or reducing NSAID pain relievers. Shifting toward plant-based protein and reducing animal protein burden. Managing blood sugar precisely, whether or not you have diabetes. Controlling blood pressure aggressively and naturally. Increasing and structuring your water intake correctly. Eating kidney-protective, antioxidant-rich foods, including blueberries, garlic, red bell pepper, olive oil, and cabbage. And most powerfully of all, beginning a consistent, moderate aerobic walking program 5 days per week. Each of these strategies has independent, peer-reviewed scientific support, and when you combine them, you create a comprehensive, multi-layered defense for some of the most important organs in your body. My message today is not fear, it is not panic, and it is certainly not resignation. My message is that foamy urine is your body's early warning system working correctly. It is your kidneys raising a hand and saying, "I need support." The fact that you noticed it, the fact that you're here learning what it means and what to do about it, means you are already ahead of the 90% of people with kidney stress who have no idea. Here is my challenge to you. Commit to the hydration protocol, the walking program, and at least 2 dietary upgrades from this list every single day for the next 30 days. Just 30 days. Track how you feel. Watch the foam. Notice your energy. Your kidneys will thank you. Your heart will thank you. And your independence, the ability to live your life fully and on your own terms, will thank you. Because remember, aging does not sentence your kidneys to failure. Aging simply reminds you that these remarkable organs have been working harder than you ever gave them credit for, and that they respond beautifully when you finally give them what they need. If this video helped you, please smash that like button. Subscribe for more real health solutions designed for adults over 60, and share this video with someone you love. One person in your life is probably noticing foam in their toilet and has never been told what it means. You could change that today. And now, I truly want to hear from you. Which of these 8 strategies will you start first? Share it in the comments below. Because the conversation that happens in this community is just as valuable as anything I can tell you. Your story matters. Your health matters. Take care of yourself.